Well, good evening, all, and happy Saturday. Y'all probably wondering where's my co host. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but unfortunately, due to this thing called adulting, Mike will not be joining us this evening. And yeah, we'll likely see him next Saturday. But with or without anybody, y'all still got me. I don't know if y'all want to consider that a blessing or a curse or whatnot, but it is what it is. All right. So, couple of things. We're gonna be talking about some upcoming releases. We are gonna get into some new stuff that actually came out regarding grading, if you will, and then if time permits, I know we were supposed to talk about the franchise players for teams on the National League, so we will try to get through that. And I will be relying on a lot of you guys to help me out. So without further ado, we are gonna start with what's up and coming. So the first thing we're gonna actually go over is Topps Chrome Cosmic. So with this, we got a release date of October 11th, and as you can see, the price of this is going to be roughly around the same from last year, give or take about $20 on the higher end. We're looking at $400 now for this set. Now, as far as what's in a box, they're looking at one nucleus refractor to include two additional parallels. All right. These are all the parallels that are going to be associated with this set. Here is a list of the inserts. We saw launch into orbit from last year. This is a new one, astrologically aligned, Star Command, Into the Cosmos, Galactic Greatness. I believe I saw this one last year. We got the Stellar Nova, the Star Fractor. Okay, I'm curious to see what that's going to look like. Then we have the Supernova SSPs, the Martian Attacks. Sounds to me like it's a set dedicated to Jason Dominguez. I mean, that's just me. Then you got your Planetary Pursuits again. You got all your autographs with the parallels, and then everything else. Okay. This is what it actually looks like. I mean, I know you can't really see it all that great, but that's what the base looks like. And then this is what the solar flares look like. Configuration is 20 packs per box, 4 cards per pack. So if you're into this kind of product, then again, it's coming out October 11th. Now, this price point, I'm looking up Blowout right now, but I'm almost certain it's gonna be roughly around the same for David Adams and Steel City. So just be mindful of that. All right, and real quick, do a quick roll call that's in the chat. We got Johnny, we got Nikki, we have White Sox Town, and we've got Sean in the chat. I appreciate you boys coming in and hanging out with me. If you missed out on the card sale that we did with Matty Ice and Sean, it was on my channel earlier. Go check that out. We are having the second part of that card sale kicking off tomorrow between the hours of 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. So you don't want to miss it. All right. All right. So moving on to the next product. And this one's going to kind of be hurtful for the soul. More than likely, Tom, there will not be any guarantee autos. It's just like last year. Not saying that they're not going to be in there, but you never know. So basically, the highlights are they got some new Chrome technology. It's a 200 card base set. Then they have some new inserts, but some of these, okay, so these are the old ones. Then you have your Supernova, Stellar Novas. Then you have your Planetary Pursuit insert chase. So, I mean, I'm almost certain if you do get a hobby box, you will more than likely get an autograph. I mean, kind of makes no sense for a hobby box or that kind of format to not have one. But what do I know? You know, I don't work for Fanatics. I don't work for Topps. They're the ones. They're the brains behind the bronze, and that's not really saying much. Okay. All right. So the next product we're gonna be covering 2024 Bowman Sterling. This is on David Adams, and you can see we're looking at $430 for this. And again, all these prices that I'm showing you from these various distributor websites, they're likely going to be consistent across all three websites. So just keep that in mind. This is set to release on the 9th of October. Okay. So this is what the box is looking like. You know, you got 5 mini boxes. What else we got here? It's a 50 card prospect and 50 card rookie chrome set with 5 autographs per hobby box, which is always a plus. This is what the base looks like. These are your set parallels, and it looks like they got 4 new ones. They got the blue sterling scintillate refractor, the copper refractor, red sterling scintillate refractor, and then they got the sterling superstars, 1 in 60 packs. Not sure what that means, but I'm almost certain this Ellie that we see here is likely going to be a part of this sterling superstar set. So we'll see. All right, so these are the extravaganza inserts. Here you have the doubles. Then you got your autograph with parallels, your dual refractor autos with parallels, and your triple autos with parallels. Then you got your Sterling Tech autographs to include your parallels. This is what they look like. Not bad. I like how they got the City Connect logos, if you will, as the background. Here's the extravaganza. Then you have your whatever this is. Then you got these nice rookies. Must be one of the new inserts that they have. Walker Jenkins. Jason Dominguez on the Sterling Tech. Another extravaganza. This time it's got Yamamoto in it. So the breakdown for this is 5 autos per pack. I mean, per box. 50 prospects, 50 rookies. What else we got? These are where's the breakdown at? Okay, so 5 packs per box with 6 cards per mini box. Okay, so I don't know if anybody is actually going to be interested in this kind of stuff, but if you are, good luck. I may indulge in it. I might pick up a box. I don't know. I will likely wait to see if the price drop, but if not, I'll go to option B and I'll just pluck out the singles. All right, so that's Bowman Sterling. All right, next one. This is actually coming out next week. 2024 Topps Chrome Sapphire. All right, I've already seen a couple of videos of this product actually being open, and there's really no difference than every other box of Sapphire that you've seen out there before. Okay, so I mean, that's not really saying much, but the breakdown, and these are like the mega boxes as well too. The price for a box of Sapphire on the Topps website, you're looking at about $350. They did have the pre-order on the EQL last Wednesday. I don't know if they're going to be doing it again. More than likely not, but it was on there. So the breakdown for this, you got 4 cards per pack. You have 8 packs per box. And then you have, if you're looking if you got deep pockets, 10 boxes equate to one case. 700 card checklist. I don't really know how to feel about that. Okay. I mean, when I look at this, the first thing that comes to my mind is 2021 Topps Chrome Platinum Anniversary. That was a monster list to actually keep track of. Okay. And what to expect in a hobby box. You're going to get one autograph and you're going to get 3 parallels. All right. Then you have your checklist as a whole. This is actually broken down by team. So, I mean, some teams have better checklists than others, and they do have the Sapphire selections again to include image variations. Then they have the Sapphire selection autographs, and only a select number of players per team actually have those type of inserts. So this is something that I will likely get into also. All right. Yeah, so that's pretty much Sapphire. And then last week we was talking about the release of Topps 5-star. That is scheduled to be released on the 27th of September also, and I did owe you guys a price point for that. We're looking at $345, give or take, across all 3 platforms. All right, so, and the breakdown for this is 2 cards per box, and they're both going to be on-card autographs. And you might only get one on-card autograph. You might be lucky and pull a cut auto. So, I mean, it's basically just the luck of the draw. And then these are all the breakdowns. They got the rookie cap patch autographs, which is a new new addition to this set. Jackie Robinson Day logo, MLB logo, so on and so forth. And again, it's one individual hobby box with 2 cards per pack. Okay. I'm not sure if that's $350 worthy, because then that tells me that each card is about $175 each, and 9 out of 10 times you're not always going to pull that card that's worth that much. Okay, so y'all go ahead and take that for what it's worth. All right, but here is what I was telling you about Sapphire. Okay, these are what the cards look like. I mean, who doesn't love Sapphire? Can't really complain. These are the Sapphire selections. Those are awesome. I love those. Then here's the Sapphire selections with autographs. You got the Paparadasha, 1 of 1. Now, this year, we did notice with, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was Chrome, if I'm not mistaken. But normally, if they're serialized, the serial number would either be somewhere like up here or on the back of it. This year, they're actually going to have it on the bottom left of the card. Me personally, I don't think that is going to be a good place for it. Let me know your thoughts on it on the bottom. Pretty much, Larkin. They are roughly about 48 cards a box. Let me catch up with the chat here real quick. See, we got some new additions. Doc's cards, Sean, Sticks, Titus, how you doing? Then we have Maddie. Glad you can make it. Larkin's in here. Awesome. Glad you boys can make it. All right, so this is what Sapphire is looking like. All right, here's another one. I haven't got the date for it yet, but this is going to be 2024 Topps update, the pre-order. I haven't seen the date for when the pre-order is going to be dropping yet. If you do know when that pre-order date is going to be happening, drop it in the chat below. But here's what we're looking at. Right now, Topps has a bundle deal where you get a hobby and a value box for $109.99. Okay. All right. So Larkin is saying release is going to be October 16th. Appreciate that. Here's the prices for each format. A hobby box pre-order, $88. A case of this stuff, just over $1,000. Here's the jumbo at $195 and about $11.70 for a whole case. All right, so here's the breakdown for the hobby. 20 packs per box, 12 cards per pack. And if we go through this is what the cards are looking like. I mean, it looks just like flagship, except with the chromium finish. I mean, this is something new. All right, let him cook. That's a new insert. I actually like that. Here goes the. I don't know how to feel about these black golds. What are your thoughts about the black gold designs? Good luck, Johnny. But then you got the throwback. All right. So that's that. I'm not going to go through each one because they're pretty much consistent across the board. All right. And here's the breakdown right here. Each one, the hobby and the jumbo, both have 12 cards per pack. And you have 20 packs per box. Well, no, I'm tripping. My bad. Hobby has 12 cards per pack with 20 packs a box. The jumbo has 40 cards a pack with 10 packs per box. And at least with this one now, it's the same, just like every other flagship hobby box that we've seen in years past. You're going to either get one auto or one relic. And now with jumbo, you're going to get one auto and two relics. And 99.9% of the chance, one of those relics is probably going to be manufactured. So we will see. Now, since we're talking about flagship, I did want to bring up one thing, and I'm sure a lot of you are already aware of this, but it should have just done 1 year of the black gold just for nostalgia. Now they're just beating a dead horse with it every year. I agree, just like stars of the MLB. If we were, he would be featured instead of some of these other guys. Okay. Y'all guys are making some good points. Now, for 2025 Series 1, there is a Topps is actually going out and doing a voting, online voting. And right now it is conducting an online vote, which ended actually yesterday. So we missed it. But basically they're trying to see who deserves the privilege and honor of being card number 1 in Series 1. And I know both Mike and I were having a nice little discussion about this, and I know Mike made some valid points. Like in this case, for Series 1, card number 1 should go to Shohei Ohtani. Okay, just for the season that he was having, especially being 50-50. My thoughts on this would be card number 1 should go to the World Series MVP. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, if it makes sense, let me know. If you think I'm high off of something, hell, let me know that also. But that's what's going on. I guess we'll wait and see who's going to be card number 1. All right, so that's pretty much everything regarding product release, upcoming releases, pre-order dates, so on and so forth. Now, hold on, I'm reading up on the chats. Card numbers should be grouped by team in order. Okay, I could see that. I definitely can see that. Number 1 vote getting what? You think an all-star game? Okay, that's another one. 1 World Series. 2 and 3 AL and NL MVP, and then 4 for All Star. Okay. Sean, you high as hell. Yeah, I could, that would make sense. Only thing I could think of why they don't do it is it would mess up the collation. That and probably because it makes sense, Larkin. And you know what happens when we try to use that thing that a lot of people are afraid of, common sense, so we'll see. But that's everything that's everything that has to do with products. Now, for those of you who like to send stuff off to go get graded, and it's only with PSA only, there was 2 videos that were released this week that I kind of glanced over a little bit, but I did make time and actually did the reading myself. But pretty much what these videos was talking about, I pretty much am on board with. All right. So for those of you who deal with PSA, you should have gotten an email earlier this week saying that they have updated their grading terms and conditions. Okay. So we're going to go over those. And we're not going to go through every one of them because we'll be here until next week still going over them. But there are a couple of them that I do want to go over. So the first one, we're going to scroll down to number 5, section 5 of the terms and services. Okay. And I'm going to try to blow this up to where everybody can see it. Nope, that's 4. All right. So the first thing, general shipping requirements. Basically, what this is going to be saying, and I'm just going to go ahead and paraphrase everything that they're saying here. Going forward, PSA is requiring us to submit our cards for grading in only not top loaders, rigid card savers. Okay. If you do happen to send a order and it has that one card in a top loader, or I know a lot of people used to do this in the past. I'm not sure if everybody still does it now, but inside the card saver, they would put like little pull tabs in the card so that'll make it easier for the grader to go ahead and pull that out so that it doesn't do any damage to it. They're doing away with that. And basically it says here, for avoidance of doubt, non-conforming packages includes but is not limited to submission of items in incorrect materials, rigid top loader sleeves, inclusion of extraneous materials, pull tabs or stickers. Now, also, PSA is actually coming up. They're not coming up. They've already implemented on their website their own shipping label. But here's a caveat to that. Okay. PSA has specifically written in the terms and services and on actually the block where you have the option of choosing a postal service of your choice or PSA that any lost, stolen, or damaged items that are sent to PSA with a PSA shipping label, PSA is not assuming responsibility and they do not provide insurance or coverage for that package. So basically, submit at your own risk, which is why I just sent out a order this morning and I still went with the standard USPS because the moment you tell me that you want us to send something a certain way, but yet you're not going to accept responsibility regardless, even though you're providing me the tools in order to send my stuff to you and you're not going to accept responsibility, I'll go the previous route. That's just me. Okay. So that's everything that has to do with shipping. Now, I do, and this is just an idea. Okay. And I'm just speculating here. I think the reason why PSA is harping on us sending cards in card savers is because they are looking to incorporate some type of new technology into the intake process of the orders that come in. You know, who's to say that they've got some type of machine that happens to have an effective way of actually taking those cards out of the card saver without damaging it, or they'll probably cut along the top of the card saver enough to where you could pinch the card saver a little bit, open it up a little bit more, then you could go ahead and grab the card out that way. I don't know. That's just my idea. All right. If anybody else has something different that they want to share with us, please feel free to go ahead and drop it down in the chat below. So that's basically everything that has to do with shipping. Here, to me, is another big one. And we're going to scroll down to number 9. So we all know or have heard or know people who they submit cards to PSA. They get those cards back. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, Nikki, you went and sent off a superfractor of Bryce Harper out of Flagship. Okay. You had screened the card. You did everything that you possibly could. You are confident that that card will get a PSA 10. Okay. But you'll be okay with a 9. You sent it off. It comes back. It came back as a 6. Okay. You're not happy about that. So what's the first thing that you say that you're going to do, or the first thing that may potentially come across your mind? You're going to crack that card out of the slab and resubmit. Well, PSA's got something for that. And it reads, and I quote, "If you break open any PSA holder for an item, you shall immediately return to PSA the certification label to include that cracked slab." Okay? Because in PSA's mind is those cracked slabs will and shall always remain the property of PSA. And when I read this, the first thing that comes to my mind is they're trying to get a better handle on the inflation of the population report. I mean, I can see how that would do in that case, but there's no real way of enforcing you to send off your the crack slab. There's really no way. Now, the only thing that comes across my mind when you're looking to reslab a card or get it regraded. Oh, but before I even get to that, so Nikki, you sent that card. They graded that Harper Super a 6. You send it back thinking it warrants a higher grade. Okay. They may or may not actually even grade it due to the fact that it was already graded at one point. Okay. And it says here, once submitted, PSA shall have no obligation to assign a graded item the same grade previously assigned to it. So ultimately, what that means is it's already been graded once. We're not going to beat a dead horse. So keep it moving. You just got yourself a gem min raw. That's just the way I look at it. But the only way I can foresee Section 9 actually being enforced when it comes to recracking and resubmitting slabs. If you guys remember, a couple of months ago, PSA was talking about incorporating, and they had already started implementing graders notes with submissions, but at the higher level. So with that Bryce Harper Superfractor, more than likely, Nikki, you're not going to send that in a bulk submission. You're probably going to send that express with a higher declared value because of the fact of the parallel, right? So if you sent it that route initially, okay, chances are that order is actually going to come back with some type of graders notes. you'll see what that grader saw and what led that grader to give that card the grade that it got when you sent it off initially. You try to send it off again, and it may not necessarily be the same grader. It could be somebody different. Okay. But more than likely, they'll probably see one, it's a superfractor. Okay. It's not like you're going to see an abundance of them. They're going to check to see if they have the ability. Has this card been graded at some point? And if it has, they'll see all the graders' notes that were on there previously. Then they'll make the call and say, okay, this was already graded. It got this grade. I'm not going to go through all the headache again. That's just me. It just says stop resubmitting and making us look incompetent. Well, yeah, that is a very genuine and delicate way of putting it there, Larkin. Nikki, when there's a will, there's a way. They can't even grade cards properly. How are they going to keep track of that? A bunch of empty words to cover their butt. I agree, Magnus, but you know what? They're doing this to say that they're doing their due diligence and trying to run an effective ship. That's the only thing that I could think of. Okay. But that's everything that has to do with cracking slabs and my opinion on when this will actually be effective, So all right. And then the next big one that I did want to bring up, and this is the last part of the terms and conditions. Number 12, doctored and inauthentic items, fraud prevention and investigation. So PSA went ahead and officially made it law that card cleaning / waxing of any kind of cards of any kind is deemed doctoring. Okay. So it says here, you represent and warrant that any item submitted for a PSA grading service is genuine and you have no knowledge and no reasonable basis to believe that the item is a doctored item. You affirm your obligations with respect to doctored items set forth in these terms. For purposes of these terms, doctored, or doctoring means the alteration of the appearance of an item by things such as, but not limited to, trimming, recoloring, bleaching, power erasing, cleaning, waxing. Those are the two that actually stuck out to me most. Rebacking or any other form of restoration used to enhance the appearance, condition, or content of an item. Okay, so not going to go into all this because it's pretty much saying the same thing. But in a way, they are saying that you will be held accountable if they deem that you had knowledge of a card that you submitted has been doctored, for a lack of better terms. Okay. And basically, it says here that you acknowledge that PSA will not grade or authenticate certain items. PSA reserves the right as its sole and absolute discretion to reject any item submitted by you and not to grade or authenticate such item. Okay. And also, here's the kicker too. The refund of any fee for such a rejected item, it will be in PSA's sole discretion based on the circumstances, and such items will not be placed in a holder. So basically, in a nutshell, if I went ahead and gave one of my Julios a nice Kurt's card wax massage, I send that off to PSA. PSA picks that up. Okay. I paid the $20 to get it graded. They will not put that card in the slab for me. They will not grade it, but yet they're still going to charge me for that $20. So just keep that in mind. Okay. I know we don't have that issue with doctoring within our group, but just know if you happen to know somebody who is on the investment side of the hobby, or looking to make a quick flip, and they resort to this type of stuff, you may want to give them a heads up to check out the terms and conditions. And another thing too, let's give it about 6 months. and let's see if Kurt's Car Care website is still up and running. So, yep. I mean, it makes sense. And to be quite honest, both Mike and I was having a conversation about this earlier this week. If I wanted to be that a-hole, if I found one card that was deemed doctored, who's to say that the whole order is not doctored? I won't grade not one card in that order and send it all back. That's just me. Yep, that's another one then, Nikki. They are going to start grading comics. So, yeah. And also, one thing that I did forget to mention earlier on when I was going through this stuff, going forward, okay, right now, all this stuff, yes, is written up in the terms and conditions, but PSA will eventually put out an official announcement of when all of these changes will take effect. So as of right now, I would act as if they are effective at the time of this podcast. Okay, if you didn't know about it, but they will actually come up with a an effective date for this going forward, and it's just a matter of time as to when. But now, here's another thing too. As some of us are all for it, some of us hate it when PSA does this to us. Upcharges. PSA will now automatically charge your method of payment up to $500 depending on the fair market value of the card that is being upcharged automatically without giving you the opportunity of authorizing or declining the upcharge. Okay, I'm not saying that they're gonna automatically charge you an additional $500 for the upcharge, but the cap is going to be at $500. And if you're really not familiar with how the upcharge system works, so if you send off a card at the bulk value, normally that declared value is probably going to be about $400 to $500 on average. And according to PSA, one of the cards that you actually sent has a higher fair market value than what you have declared on the bulk value. They'll likely bump it up to the next most expensive tier of submission, which is, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere between $600 to $700. They'll likely charge you that additional $100 to $200 depending on the I'm sorry, no, the price of submitting at the next level, depending on how much they feel that card that you're sending in initially at the bulk value is worth. All right, so that's another thing to keep in mind. That's a good question, Tom. It does, Magnus, but some of us tend to be a little more bougie than others. So, I mean, I don't know. Is the easiest way to do it to wait for them to show up at a local show and submit in person? The process is still the same. Three good nerds. They'll still go abide by the same rules. Sticks, what you know about ghetto. Anyway, so that's everything that has to do with the terms and conditions. And what I'll do is, just for your reading pleasure, whenever you guys are in the bathroom or whatever the case may be, have at it. I went ahead and dropped the website link to the thing below. Okay. All right. So that is everything regarding terms and conditions. Now, I'm going to try to go over the National League top 2 teams per division, and we'll pluck out the names of the franchise names for those teams, and hopefully I don't get crucified by these teams' respective fans. And if I do, fight me. All right, so the first one, we're going to go with the Phillies. First name that comes to my mind when I think of the Phillies, Bryce Harper. Okay, he has to be that guy that is the face of the Phillies. And as a backup, I'm gonna phone a friend. Who you think, Nikki? If Bryce was to go down, who would the Phillies rely on to carry the team? The link don't work. All right, I'll send it out again, or I'll drop it in the Discord. Guy 2 would be Real Muto. Okay. Let's see what he's done this year. All right, so he's got a 3 WAR, 13 home runs, 267 batting average, 44 RBIs. I don't think that's going to get it done. That's just me. But let's see. Okay, so Harper's got 29 home runs. Why not Trey Turner? Or why not Schwarber? Hell, Castellanos could be a candidate. You know, I mean, and these are just standard stats. I'm not going to go into the whole WAR thing or whatever. Now, what makes you think what criteria are you using, or Phillies fans in general are using, to dub Real Muto the leader of the team? Tom, he strikes out too much. However, he's got 35 home runs that says otherwise compared to Real Muto's 13. You know, I mean, his batting average is 267. His Schwarber's is nothing to write home about either, but I mean, he's got 102 walks, no triples, 21 doubles, 136 hits. I did not know that. So, okay. So, if Mike were here, I would probably think he would agree with you, Nikki. He may have somebody else in mind. I mean, I would assume it would either be Bohm, Stott, Castellanos, or Schwarber as the number 2 guy. That's just my thoughts on it. All right. All right. So that happens to be your Phillies. Next team behind them is your New York Mets. Let's see what they're working with. So, real quick, what is everybody thinking about the Mets? Outside looking in would be Schwarber. Okay, that's a fair assessment. Any ideas on the go-to guy for the Mets? I'll give you one. Has to be Pete Alonso. Okay, so let's see what the Polar Bear has done this season. All right, 2.5 WAR, 34 home runs, 244 average, 3 stolen bases, and we know he's not a runner, 87 RBIs. Okay, so I would agree he would lead the pack. Okay, Tom is saying Lindor. What? Why Lindor? Tom. If not for Otani. Well, Lindor's hurt right now, if I'm not mistaken. What are your thoughts on well, hell, there's really nobody else. I mean, Frankie Alvarez, he hasn't really been that productive. 234 batting average. Pete's got him by 10. Lindor, 271. Mark Vientos is right up there with Frankie. Okay. So, yeah, I would think Pete would be the face of the Mets. Lindor, and I would add to Lindor, I would have to base it on longevity. He's been around the game a little bit longer. So that would be my thing. All right. Next one. The mighty Braves. Can we all assume that it would be none other than Ronald Acuna? Is he the face of the Braves when he's healthy? What y'all think? Okay, Acuna. So let's see what Acuna has done for his team when he's not hurt again. Okay, so when he was active, 4 home runs, 250, 15 RBIs. That's respectable. Okay. And as of right now, yeah, he's still on the 60-day IL list, which we're not going to see him this season, and we're probably not going to see him in opening day next season. Why not Ozuna? I'm willing to bet Larkin is probably just due to the injury bug. Yeah, but you do have to admit though, Magnus, that when he is healthy, he actually performs. Olsen is pretty good, yeah. I mean, Olsen, for 30 years old, he's got 28 home runs. He's batting 242, 784 OPS. But why not Ozuna? It's too early to talk about Luis. Ozzy Albies? Okay, let's see him. He has 8 home runs, batting 254 with a 707 OPS. But if you look at Ozuna, he has 38 home runs, 101 RBIs, batting 307. You think it'll be Riley? So Riley is also hurt, but when he wasn't hurt, he had 19 home runs, batted 256 with a 783 OPS. My opinion, I would think Ozuna would be the go-to guy now, just based off numbers. Riley, okay, he's 27. Ozuna's 33. Olsen is 30. And Acuna's 26. Okay, yeah, I can see that. Good point. All right. So the next team that is up, and we'll just go right down the line. No, that's not what I want. Let's go back here. We got your Washington Nationals. Who's the face of the Nationals? Well, first off, are there any Nationals fans in the chat right now? Yeah, I didn't think so. That's a good question, Larkin. So right now, the names that stick out to me that are productive before anybody crucifies me, CJ Abrams, James Wood, then you have Keibert Ruiz. Okay. I'm not even going to throw Gallo in the mix because that's Mr. Inconsistent. Well, that's the thing, Chuck. We're only talking about who would be that guy to carry the team. You know, like right now, let's take the Braves for example. Acuna is out of commission. Who would be relied on to pick up his slack when it comes to bringing the team towards the playoffs, possibly the World Series? Okay, but I would think for the sake of the Nationals, and I mean, if we went off of all around athlete, both on and off the field, get 100%, a lot of the names that we are talking about would likely change. I will agree with that. But we're trying to keep it within the funnel of during the season gameplay only. What's up, Theo? You think Chris Sale? You know, to be honest, we ain't even consider pitchers, but okay. I mean, where can I find Mr. Sale at? He's not even on here. Why am I looking over here? Anyway, but yeah, so Sale is about to win his first Cy Young this year. It's about time. So can we agree that Abrams, despite the fact that he's only 23, he's the youngest on the team, is right now, can he be considered the face of the Nationals? Agreed. And I'm just basing this off of overall performance during the season. Okay. I didn't even think about Garcia. Let me see where he's at. He's got 16 home runs, 280 batting average, 759 OPS. Yeah, I can see that. Very well. Moving on to the next team. All right. Next team. Marlins. Who's that guy? Chuck, are you in here? Would you say it's your buddy right here? Asking for a friend. All right. Now, honestly, just by looking at this, I would actually, he's 28. I don't even know why they still have Jazz here. Yeah, I would go Burger. Then I would probably go Josh Bell for the sake of longevity. Yeah. So, all right, we'll skip the Marlins. All right. How about that Brew Crew? What are we looking at? Honestly, in my opinion, I would have to give this one without even looking at stats to Yelich. But since we brought him up, let's see what he's looking like. Where is Yelly? Christian. Oh, there you go. All right. He's hurt too. But when he was playing, 2.2 WAR, 11 home runs, 315 batting average, 42 RBIs, and a 909 OPS. Okay. Magnus and Nikki are saying Adames. Let's see what Adames has done. If I can find him. Oh, there you go. All right. 3.2 WAR, 32 home runs. Okay. Respectable. 248 batting average, 795 OPS. Okay. Now, no, I'm not going to say Reese Hoskins. Where do y'all see Jackson Churio at? Okay. Sticks is saying Contreras is solid. $23, $284, $841. Okay. Yeah. But Churio, as the baby of the team, 21 home runs, 272 batting average, 796 OPS. Good point, Nikki. Definitely a good point. Okay. All right. Moving on. Who else we got? Maddie. Maddie, are you still here? Who's your marquee player there, Maddie? Okay, Larkin is saying Ian Happ. So let's take a look. All right, so Ian at 29, he is 25 home runs, 249 batting average with a 799 OPS, with a 123 OPS plus. What is he's a one-time All-Star, two-time Gold Glove. Okay. Oh, so he was originally drafted by the Cubs, and he's pretty much been with them. No, he was with Washington. No, wait, I'm tripping. No, he's been with Chicago his whole career. Okay. All right. Yeah, I can see that. Okay. Nikki and Tom are saying Cody Bellinger. Bellinger fell off, in my opinion. I think now he's a shell of himself since 2017, but I could be wrong. Let's see. 2.3 WAR, 268 batting average, 18 home runs, 760 OPS, 113 OPS plus. He's an MVP. He's won Rookie of the Year. He's got a ring, two-time Silver Slugger, Golden Glove, NLCS MVP. But now, if we look at his season, all right. So in 2017, and I'm just going to go off of home runs and batting average. Home runs in 17, he went 39, then 25, had a good year in 19, fell off in 20, rightfully so because of the pandemic. 21, 10 home runs, 22, 19, 26 last season, 18 currently. Batting average. He's got 2 years when he's batted over 300. Okay. In his rookie year, he won Rookie of the Year, 9th place in the MVP voting. He was an all-star. Won MVP 2 years later, Golden Glove, and a Silver Slugger. What's up, Dom? You think PCA is going to do some justice? Well, let's see what we're looking at. Okay, so a 2.7 WAR, 243 batting average. He's got 10 career home runs from this season. I mean, yeah, he's still young. I mean, he broke out last season, so I mean, yeah, he's still got hope. And how old is he? He's 22. I would have to hold on before I even open my mouth. Does that change your mind in any way, Dom? Asking for a friend. So I mean, granted, I'm sure there's more to it than just numbers, but on paper, it speaks volumes. That's all I'm saying. All right, so now who would be the number 2 guy? 251, 271. So nobody on the team is batting over 300. Maybe this kid here, Christian Bethencourt, but he don't really count. I respect that, Dom. Suzuki long term. Okay. Well, he ain't got much of a long term there, Sticks. He's already almost 30 years old. But he's got some decent numbers, though. 21 home runs, 70 RBIs, batting 279. What's his lifetime numbers looking like? 7.9, 55 home runs, lifetime batting average 276. Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. All right. Hell, I'm probably going to have to finish the last damn division next week. All right. How about them Cardinals? What are we thinking? Did you just look that up, Larkin? Because I wasn't even factoring that in. Okay. Goldie, 36 years old. He's got a 62.7 WAR, 361 home runs, 289 batting average, over 1,000 in RBIs. He's an MVP, 7-time All-Star, 5-time Silver Slugger, 4-time Gold Glove. When did he get drafted? 2011. All right. So with these numbers, Tom, if he was to retire after this season, will this get him in? Because there's rumors that says anybody who has a WAR over, I think it was 60 or 55, one of the two, that they're pretty much for sure getting into the Hall of Fame. All right, Nikki is saying Arenado. So let me see what Arenado's looking like. All right, so he's got a 56.4 WAR, 341 RBI, home runs, 285 average, 857 OPS with a 120 OPS plus. Eight-time All-Star, 10-time Gold Glove, 6-time Platinum Glove, and 5-time Silver Slugger. Brendan Donovan, at 27, we're looking at, he's got 1 Gold Glove. He is 27 years old, this season, 13 home runs, 275, 68 ribbies. Yeah, you can make an argument for him. Drafted in 2018. Now, mind you, I mean, well, no, I can't even really say. Well, hold on a second. Let's make this spicy. They're both outfielders. And he's actually older. Best player right now, yeah. Okay. So, let me get back to the team. Any thoughts on Matt Carpenter? Probably not, because his number says otherwise. Who would be another one that sticks out? Well, we could say the same thing about Arenado, Larkin. But yeah, I'll close my argument with that one. Okay, what about those Reds? Who we thinking as the face? I mean, me personally, I don't see anybody fitting that criteria as being the franchise player for the team, but the one that has been carrying the team would definitely be Ellie. I mean, that's hands down. Because statistically, nobody really comes close to him. Well, maybe Spencer Steer. 230, 260. 121, one. Yeah, I say Spencer Steer is right on his tail. Tyler Stevenson, no. These guys down here, I wouldn't even waste my time with them. I mean, Will Benson had a little stint, 14 home runs. You think so with Steer? Yeah, I would agree. If Ellie was hurt, it would. I think it would be Steer to be the one to step up to try to carry the team. Okay. All right. What about your Pirates? We got 3 old heads on this team. You got Grandal, Uncle Larry, and Michael Taylor. So with McCutchen at 37, what has he done this season? Okay, 1.1 WAR, 20 home runs, 238, 50 ribbies, 3 stolen bases with a 761 OPS and a 111 OPS plus. MVP, 5-time All-Star, 4-time Silver Slugger, Golden Glove, and he's won the. There goes that criteria of being a franchise player off the field too. There, Nikki. So I mean, just look. He's been in the game now since '09, and it's been like basically kind of like a roller coaster. But he hasn't been considered for any type of accolades since 2015. Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you get old. Okay. Dom is saying Kutch, then Kebri Hayes. Hayes is hurt right now, so .9 WAR, 4 home runs, 233 average, 573 OPS with a 61 OPS plus. That is no bueno. And he's got a Golden Glove. Been in the game now 5 seasons. Best year was last season. It's when he won his Golden Glove, and he came in sixth for Rookie of the Year consideration. His WAR .9 for this season, 13 and a half for his career. I mean, you can make an argument for him. Yeah, definitely. Okay. So, do we really need to go? Well, I think it would be a good argument. All right. Who are we thinking about for those Doyers? In my opinion, I think right now it is too early for Otani. Larkin is saying it would have to be Mookie. So let's see what Mookie's done this season. 4.6 WAR, 17 home runs, 292, 869 with a 147 OPS plus. MVP, 8-time All-Star, 6-time Golden Glove, 2 rings, 6 Silver Sluggers, a batting title, Defensive Player of the Year, and Player of the Year. Okay. Now if Mookie falls injury, who would follow him up? And again, excluding Shohei, because this is his first season as a Dodger. Who would be next in line? How do y'all feel about Freddie Freeman? Will Smith? Okay, let's check his stats out. At 29, 3.3 WAR, 19 home runs, 247 average, 72 ribbies, two-time All-Star, and he won a ring 4 years ago. As a catcher, too. Respect that, Dom. Okay, so Will Smith. What about any love for Max Muncy? My kid just asked, why did Tatis get in trouble for running up the score last year with that home run, but Ohtani gets praised for a ninth inning home run, went up by 12? Well, I mean, ultimately, there was a chase that Ohtani was gunning for. And with Tatis, he probably just did it out of sheer arrogance. He hit that home run on a 3-0 pitch for what? With the exception of scoring those extra runs. With Ohtani, he just did it to solidify his place in the 50-50 club, honestly. Kershaw, okay. Yeah, I can see that. Nikki, and that's a good question. I mean, the Dodgers got a solid team. And it's really hard to pinpoint who is, when you think of the Dodgers, what's the first player you think of that represents the Dodgers as a whole? It's really hard because now if you take everybody, automatically people are going to say Ohtani. Some will likely go with Mookie. Will Smith would probably be not too far behind. Clayton Kershaw, definitely. Who keeps them glued together? That's a good question. That is definitely a good question. All right. Speaking of the Padres, uh in my mind, it would have to be Manny. What's up, boo? Yup, I agree that Nikki would have to definitely be Machado. I mean, despite his arrogance and his attitude, he is productive. 6-time All-Star, 2-time Gold Glove, Platinum Glove, Silver Slugger. And his career numbers, almost over 340 home runs, lifetime 279 batting average, OPS of 828 with 125 OPS plus. Okay. Now let's check out El Nino. 2.5 WAR, 19 home runs, 281 average, 47 ribbies, 835 and 131. Two-time All-Star, Gold Glove, Platinum Glove, two-time Silver Slugger. And he has a blemish on his record. So that 2022, it's what's gonna hurt him. He did. And I think that's where his brother went too. Am I right there, Larkin? I agree, Dom. But how would you explain that with Ohtani? It's like Ohtani is more productive now as a Dodger than he was as an Angel. It's just my opinion, though. What do I know? Diamondbacks. Just looking at this, and he was not productive in his career at all, from what I see. Jock Peterson. I mean, he's been around since 2010. And looks like he's played for a variety of teams. Dodgers, Toronto, no, Chicago, Atlanta, Giants, and then Arizona. You said Marte? Oh, yeah, definitely. Okay. And he's only 30 years old. Well, he's about to be 31. So, yeah, good argument for him. Okay. That's a good point, Dom. Let's look at Corbin's numbers. 2.8 WAR, 21 home runs, 231 average. Now, he did have kind of a crappy beginning of the season, but he started picking it up, I guess, a little bit after the All-Star break. Yeah, I would definitely agree. Okay. How about them Giants? Matt Chapman? Is that a safe assumption? I mean, looking at Matt's numbers, I mean, he's been playing since 2014. 21 shy of 200 home runs. He's batting a 241, 499 ribbies. I would make a good argument for Chapman being Mr. Giant himself. I mean, who else is on the team with him? Bailey? No. Lamont Wade? No. Estrada? Hell no. Fitzgerald? No. Conforto? Not really. You saying Matos? Hell, Matos ain't even in. Oh, there you go. He's hurt too. 22 years old. Nah. I mean, he got drafted. He debuted last season in June, so he's got just over a season under his belt. Maybe long term. Ramos, yeah, he's having a hell of a season. Let's look at his numbers. 21 home runs, 270 average, 800 OPS, 128 OPS plus. Been in the game since 2017. And he's made one All-Star appearance. He's another one. I guess with just a little more experience, he'll come around. So since 22, wasn't really productive in 22. 23 showed signs of life. Complete turnaround this season. Hopefully he stays on the right track, honestly. All right, last team, gentlemen. Last team. Definitely Chuck Nasty. With Blackman, though, I do not see him getting into the Hall of Fame. Sadly. I mean, 20.5 WAR, 225 home runs, lifetime batting average of 292. Yeah. Hey, Jenny, how you doing? Appreciate Jenny coming in and dropping everybody's links. Much appreciated, Jenny. So I'm pretty sure we're going to go over this again when Mike gets back. But that was pretty fun going through who we think is the number one player for each team. Welcome back, Jason. So, I mean, we'll probably touch up again on this next week when Mike gets back. And next week also, we will be talking about those players that managed to get those ridiculous contracts, but they're not earning their pay. I could already think of one. And he plays for my team. So, I appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out. If you haven't done so, please hit that like button. I'd appreciate it. And again, tomorrow, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. back here, we're going to be doing part 2 of the card sale for Maddie and Sean. They got a whole bunch of stuff. Hopefully they take this time to actually get their inventory organized. So it'll run a little more smoother tomorrow. And then next Saturday, hopefully Aldi's doesn't do Mike wrong like they did this tonight. So I appreciate everybody coming in, and I will be seeing you throughout YouTube throughout the week. Have a good night, everybody.